Prepare for sloppiness. Oh no, how does he do it? Something about Three Wise Radio. I'm Sam Pixley. Joe's not here. That's Garrett. We talk about all the stuff. TV, sports, relationships, Cosmopolitan magazine. Garrett, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I think you nailed that.
Me too, 10 out of 10. Clearly things are a little bit different today. We didn't have a podcast last week, and our social media presence wasn't quite up to snuff with letting you guys know what's going on, so we just wanted to touch base with everybody. Joe is on sabbatical. He's touring the world or doing something, so he'll be out for a few weeks. I'm in the process of moving, and we've had some technical issues, so had to put the podcast on hold for a week or two. We're going to be back up and running next week. Still going strong with our Cosplayer of the Month. Still rifling that off. But we wanted to give you guys a little segment. We'll do some headlines to just cover what's going on today and just kind of go forward with that, just to touch base with you guys. So while Joe is absent, we are going to be circling in some movie versus people. So everybody's going to be joining us from that show week in and week out. So lots of guest hosts. Garrett, anything from you? How was your week going?
I got hit by a car yesterday.
Awesome. So. But you didn't hobble in.
No.
So that's a good sign. So either you didn't get hit that bad or you have superpowers. Which one is it?
That's a good question. I'll have to test this theory
Did
more.
you get hit or did you, dodge?
A bit of both.
Okay. So kind of, tumbled off?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're alive and well.
Thank you.
Those damn... Is it a car?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Chicago motorists.
gross. Yeah, they are aggressive. You want to do some headlines?
Yeah.
All righty. Big headline. Biggest headline we've got for today. The IFC's Portlandia is in its last season.
Really?
They just signed for their 8th and final season.
See, I didn't even know they continued on past, season 4 because it was all on Netflix, and that's, I think, as far as Netflix went with it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even know it was still going.
Do you like the show?
It's got it's a hit and miss.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bunch of continuing sketches for each season, so some of them are good, some of them aren't.
Yeah. Some of them seem extremely forced, or some of them I like the older lesbian bookstore owners, characters, things like that. But also they're going to be bringing in a lot of guests to celebrate their final season. And one of the big ones that we've tagged, which I thought was very interesting, is the boys from Oh Hello, Nick Kroll and John Mulaney.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the first thing that came into my head is that they are also hit or miss for me when they're doing those characters. And the first thing I thought of was this is going to be kind of a Punnett square of comedy, if you remember science, figuring out what traits we're going to have. So if one show's hit or miss and another show's hit or miss, I think percentage-wise the odds of this not being good are pretty high.
Which alleles are going to carry over to the next generation of this?
Yeah. Oh, but I thought that was interesting. And actually that fit, I think, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But
we'll see.
I will not really miss it. There's no way to transition from this. Have you seen the trailer for Nick Cage's new movie titled Vengeance, a Love Story?
No, I haven't.
He plays a detective with Nick Cage hair, which is getting worse as he gets older. Which is a shame, but he plays a detective who is solving a case of a bunch of guys that looked like they raped a party girl mom who brought her kid, her 12-year-old kid, to a party, and they walked home and were attacked afterwards. But a tough, a cool guy defender or whatever it's called, legal. No. The not the prosecutor, but the.
Yeah, I think it's the defense.
Yeah,
defense
whatever.
attorney.
Whatever. The defense attorney was real slick. He was like, these guys didn't do it. This was consensual. And, this lady's a party girl, and she's not good to have, a very Casey Anthony kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
And he just decides to dispense out justice.
As Nick Cage does.
As Nick Cage. I just don't get the title of A Love Story. It's not like it was his wife or...
Maybe they fall for each other? I don't know.
No, because the ages are... she's 22, and he's Nick Cage. Which I think is, it's either immortal or 50.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend watching the trailer. They talk about the Constitution, which is close enough to the Declaration of Independence so that I get excited about it. But yeah, it just looked real shoddy, and I don't know what he's doing anymore.
I don't think he knows what he's doing anymore.
That's fair enough. Let's see. Other movie news. We're getting a new Shaft, as everyone has wanted. This one not being titled, but should be titled Shaft, A Family Affair. Because we've got the newest Shaft is the guy that played, I'm pulling up his name. We've got the guy that played Jesse T. Usher. He played Will Smith's son in Independence Day.
Oh, okay.
And I think he's also in a show called Survivor's Guilt. Not sure on that. But joining him, his father, Samuel L. Jackson, who played the Shaft.
Who played the original Shaft?
No, he played the nephew of the original Shaft, Richard Roundtree, who is also appearing in this movie. Presumably all John Shaft, all complicated all the time.
Good.
I don't. It's potentially being called Son of Shaft. So,
how do I feel about that? I don't know.
I mean, I feel better about it. I think it's more of a thing where we're not. If this is becoming kind of self-aware and becomes a little gimmicky, I don't know if that'd be better or worse for it.
Yeah.
To be quite frank, but you know, there you go. Lots of important news going
Shaft
on
3.
today. Let's see. We'll stick with movies. Apple is looking to potentially offer $50 home movie rentals for recently released movies. So instead of going to the theater, after 2 weeks is what their goal is. After 2 weeks, movies will be available for you to rent in your home theater for $50.
A piece?
Think about it. If you have 5 friends over, it's basically a movie ticket.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a pay-per-view thing. But if everybody chips in, it's not so bad.
Yeah. Never thought about that. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean that would work.
The only thing that apparently this is very complicated because you also have to get distribution for all the major companies.
Yeah.
For instance, Warner Brothers' big thing that they're looking for now is they want to do they're potentially interested in doing some movies going to release. Instead, it's usually like 90 days before they get released or something like that. For big movies like superhero movies and that kind of stuff, action movies, the blockbusters, having them stay in theaters for a prolonged period of time, but having smaller movies being released early, like the 2-week margin. So essentially, we could be seeing a world where the movie theater now is just blockbusters, and then small releases of like your drama pieces or things that are going for Oscar noms or whatever, going in just for like 2 weeks and then bouncing out, or becoming very limited showings because they are available at home.
Interesting.
I'm actually not opposed to that because I really do only go to the movies for big action movies because I want that energy with the sound and you know all the lights and all that fun stuff. So I'm not opposed to this. It's just it's a thing where it's a lot more complicated than people give it credit.
Yeah.
So we shall see. I think that's still a ways away. Let's see. Let's switch over to TV for a while. The Defenders is out.
I watched it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I forgot that it was a thing.
I honestly did too up until like the day before, and then everybody's like, Defenders comes out tomorrow. I was like, oh yeah, it does.
Who are you talking to? I don't remember nobody in my circle right now has like, oh yeah, the Defenders. I can't wait.
It's a lot of the cosplay community.
Okay, yeah. So. Thoughts?
It was good. Definitely redeemed Iron Fist.
That's what I've heard.
Definitely set up. It set them all in good spots where, because I know Jessica Jones and Luke Cage aren't confirmed for a second season yet, but should they decide like they're in a good spot for that?
Okay.
It said like Iron Fist is already confirmed for season 2 and sets him up for a good spot for that. Daredevil's confirmed for season 3 and it sets him up good for that. So.
Okay. Does Murdoch put the suit back on, or is he just wearing a suit with like a scarf
he
over
puts
his
it
head
back
the whole
on.
time? Okay, good to know.
They show that in the commercials and stuff.
I never know if that's from an older clip or.
No.
Okay, so pretty good. That's good to hear. On that same note, did you watch the Punisher teaser?
Yeah.
Looks
Real-
good.
I'm
He's
real excited for
swinging
that.
that sledgehammer like a champion. I was actually kind of more excited for that than I am for watching The Defenders.
Yeah.
I think that might be a lot of pomp and circumstance. Is there a decent story to it?
Yeah, it all kind of centers around the hand still.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's just the four of them going against like the higher ups of the hand. That's really about it.
Okay. So it sounds like not so much.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now watch me transition from TV back to movies. After reports that the director of The Inhumans' first 2 episodes that are being released on IMAXs reported that he was hired specifically because he could do things quickly and cheaply. Not really what you want to do for your big IMAX debut.
No.
IMAX has now shortened their run of The Inhumans, which I think is a really smart decision by them, on the big screen.
How long were they planning on having it out in the first place?
Unknown at this point.
Because that should have only been like a week.
Yeah,
Maybe
this should
2
be
weeks.
maybe 2 weeks tops. If anything, this should be now like 1 weekend only
Yeah.
to be cost effective. But this just seems like it is a train wreck.
It just does not look good. I just don't. I'm not gonna bother trying to see this in IMAX.
The confusing part for me was that they were setting up. The only like bright mark I can see out of this is if there was some way that they thought they were going to get X-Men back, because they were setting up Inhumans to essentially be like the mutants of the Marvel universe. Yeah. But now we don't know what's going on because clearly X-Men is going to keep running with movies over at Fox. So I don't know where their head's at this. It kind of seems like they're making some DC moves, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. Fun fact, I saw an infographic. The first...
Everyone loves an infographic. Were there cool pictures?
No.
Damn.
Let me rephrase. Not an infographic. It was just a line chart. But the first 4 movies that DC has released have like just continually, steadily getting better in terms of like how much they've made. Whereas like the first 4 movies that Marvel made were just like all over.
All over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm blown away by your facts. I think but the only thing is you have to equate with that is now superhero movies are a thing, so they're established. Whereas when Marvel came out, they were not yet. So it was more based on what people were interested in rather than superhero movie, I gotta go see it. Yeah. But I like to see that. That's good news. Let's see. This is news, but not news. An Obi-Wan movie is potentially in production, as we've guessed at for 2 years now.
I heard it was confirmed.
Yeah, it's in production.
Oh, okay.
But in production with a studio that big, who knows how long that could take or when they're rolling that out.
I mean, I feel like odds are that'll be next year since they've been doing...
Think they can put it together that quickly?
I feel like they could.
Yeah. Do you want them to?
Or sorry, not next year.
2020?
Yeah, 2020 would be our next one.
Yeah, because Han Solo's not coming out this year.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I honestly don't really give the prequels much thought. Or not the prequels, the
Anthology,
spin-offs, much thought. But who knows? If Ewan McGregor does it, which he said he's definitely down for, then
I hope he
more
does.
power to him.
I hope he does.
As does the world. Tom Cruise broke an ankle on the set of Mission Impossible. Did you watch the video?
No.
It's pretty good. It's him jumping across a building and he clearly misses. And the director was quoted saying, "I saw the jump." And I was like, man, he's really selling this. And I was like, oh, shit, he actually broke his ankle. Okay, get in there. So Tom Cruise is acting unparalleled. But they're saying that Mission Impossible 6 is still set to come out on time. So I don't know if maybe they're going to do some smart things where they start chopping it together, doing some editing, like rearranging shoots and things. But they said they're still expected to come out with their same release date. Do we think Tom Cruise is smart enough to get to a point where he realizes, I think he's like 50...
He's getting up there.
Mid-50s now? He can't keep doing all of his own stunts all the time. But he keeps doing bigger things.
Yeah. Ew. I don't know, man.
And at what point does the studio turn and say, like, this is too much of a liability, you can't do this?
Probably MI7.
You think so?
Yeah.
And also, it also teeters with how much bravado does he have as Tom Cruise to be like, no, the studios can't tell me what to do.
They can.
They can, but I also think he's still, for some reason, he's still such a popular action star.
I don't know, man. I feel like especially since he's getting up there, like if he does another Mission Impossible after this or any sort of like big action movie, it'll be like, all right, we at least need to do some of this stuff with a stunt double, not all of it.
It's a bizarre thing. I mean, I actually really like the Mission Impossible movies that have come out since like Ghost Protocol, so I hope this comes out because I enjoy them. But if it gets delayed, it gets delayed. Let's see. Quotes going on for the movie Godzilla vs. King Kong. It's guaranteed that one of them will win. They're not planning on doing any, it's a team up, or, they both kind of lose, but they both kind of win at the same time and go their separate ways, and there's mutual respect. The director, Adam Wingard, said he definitely wants there to be a clear-cut winner and loser.
I hope they do what they did with the original Godzilla vs. King Kong and like have two different.
There's two endings based on where you are geographically. Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
I wonder if that would play better now or better than it did when it did back then. Because you can clearly just like get on the internet and see the other ending. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. He also said that this movie is definitely a monster brawl movie. There's lots of monsters going crazy on each other. But at the end of the day, I want there to be an emotional drive to it. I want you to be emotionally invested in them. And that's what's going to make it cool. So Godzilla vs. King Kong, a movie so crazy, it'll make you cry. I feel that, though. I mean, they tried to do a lot of shots, as they do in all monster movies. Okay, let's make this emotional. Quick, zoom in on their eye and have them blink, which they did in both the Godzilla movie and the Kong movie. It's the only way to humanize these things, I guess, because you take away the scale.
Yeah.
I could get emotionally invested in Godzilla. I'm not so much in Kong, but Kong's easier because he's an ape, and that's closer to us than a giant lizard monster. But I am emotionally invested in Godzilla, I would say.
How so?
Because I think he's awesome and I don't like for him to lose.
Okay.
So, plus he just doesn't die. Even though in the first Godzilla they killed him. So, I don't know where that's at. Just kind of rambling on Godzilla.
Hey, man.
You could I'm sure there is a whole podcast on just Godzilla.
I'd be.
And if not, stay tuned because I'll start one. And then since Joe's not here, that's kind of all the big news that I've got. Since Joe's not here, we can do whatever we want. So, Garrett, how excited are you for Game of Thrones tonight?
I'm super excited. I'm really upset that some of the stuff got spoiled for me.
You fool! Don't be on the internet right now.
Well, it was before it was like big news that the episode got leaked.
Well, you saw who leaked it.
It was HBO Spain.
Yeah.
And HBO Nordic. Yeah. And man,
some people were saying, conspiracy theory, that it was released on purpose. That it was them saying like, "Oh, you're gonna release our content? Fine, we'll do the whoopsie-daisy. Released. Whoops. Take the power back." It's like somebody wasn't thinking clearly.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how that works. Well, I'm sorry you got spoiled.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna tell you to shut your trap right now. Then.
No, I mean like it wasn't game-changing stuff. It was stuff that I honestly had predicted already, but it was just like I like watching that unfold naturally rather than having it like, ooh, look at the screen cap.
Obviously, yeah. When I was younger, I was in a habit of like reading things before I saw them so that I could kind of like know what was going on and get a look at it in kind of a different way, but I definitely, as I've gotten older, want to be surprised by things on the screen, so I'm sure it'll be good. Looking forward to it. Anything on your end, Garrett?
Nope.
Fair enough. Anything piquing your interest?
Buddy of mine, Jacob Sire, just released some of his music. He was a music student at SEMO, and it's just a lot of
Southeast Missouri State University, the premier university in all of the Missouri Boot Heel.
Yep.
Excellent.
But he released some of his music on Spotify yesterday, and it's real good stuff. Just like nice, easy listening acoustic music.
Nice. What's his name again?
Jacob Sire, Seyer.
Okay.
Am I
Nice.
saying that right?
I like easy listening, because it's easy. Let's see. Piquing my interest just because I thought it was funny. Sorry to bring the Batfleck situation into it, but did you listen to the interview from his brother Casey Affleck?
Oh, where Casey's like, yeah, he's not.
Oh yeah, he's not going to do that. You know that would be a giant leak, right? That would be a giant reveal. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. What a mess of a family.
Who knows?
I don't know. I'm getting kind of sick of it, but I thought that was amusing because Casey Affleck just, I don't know what's going on in that noggin of his.
I don't think he knows.
I mean, he's so interesting because as a director, you need to be very active and engaged, and Casey Affleck seems like the least engaged
so laid
person.
back.
Just
Yeah.
like, yeah. Let's do another one. Roll it again. That's fine. Well, give me something. But we'll see how it all plays out. So again, we will be back next week. Are we going to be doing our cosplay interview next week?
Yes.
Do you want to give a shout out for cosplay where we're looking at?
Yeah. So again, we're doing our cosplayer of the month stuff. Our cosplayer this month is Kaylee Marie. You've been seeing her photos on our social media stuff, and we will have her interview on the show next week. So
Jackpot. Well, we'll be back with a full show next week, mixing some things around. You can find us on all of our social media information, which I am not privy to. Garrett, do you know our social media stuff?
yeah, so we're on Facebook at 3Wise Media,
Good one.
and we're on Instagram at 3Wise Radio.
Good one. All right.
That's it.
That's it for us. We'll be back next week. We'll let you know who's going to be co-hosting with us. Best luck to Joe on his sabbatical, and take it easy.
3Wise Radio is a production of 3Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.